Warning, the podcast you're about to hear has a unique conservative perspective and may be politically incorrect, containing some controversy in its message. This episode may speak out against liberalism, socialism, the dark state, and religious organizations. It is possible that evil in politics, education, law, society, and religion will be discussed and exposed. However, we believe this podcast adds truth and value to a mature, disenfranchised audience who may be tired of apostate religions and wicked world systems. Listeners who are easily offended, overly sensitive, or have progressive leanings sympathetic to the topics we expose should be forewarned not to listen any further. We thank both those who choose to listen as well as those who choose not to listen. You've been warned. And now, let us get on with the show.
Welcome to the Freedom Friday Hour, the alternative news podcast.
Well,
Yes.
Today is February 17th, 2017.
Very nice.
Thank you.
We have some very good stories today. We'll talk about these dead owls that apparently are just falling from the sky. We'll talk about some human microchipping laws. Mm-hmm. And then Elon Musk.
It reminds me of that cologne, that musk oil.
He smells like that.
I think he does.
All Tesla cars smell like that, too. Well, he says that humans must merge with machines, or else we become irrelevant.
Okay.
That's what he says.
All right.
Then there's a movie. It's one of those, I don't know, nobody's going to watch it. It's one of those, film festival. It's in Berlin. It's called A Fantastic Woman. That's the title of the movie, A Fantastic Woman. But the woman playing a fantastic woman is a dude.
Oh, for the love of pizza.
And then the Grammys, and I didn't hear much about this. Well, I don't watch the news. I don't watch regular TV, but...
And we didn't watch the Grammys.
No, we didn't watch the Grammy. I wouldn't waste my thumb on the remote control. My thumb is very active. And I wouldn't want to waste that.
Very active.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to waste that energy.
Hey.
No, it's going. It's got to move constantly because it's just constantly changing. It's like the universe.
It's like your mouth.
Ah!
Pa-dum-pum.
Pa-dum-pum. But the Grammys apparently had a trophy girl, very hot looking trophy girl. I didn't see her. She's very hot, I hear. It's a dude, folks. It was a dude. And you know what? There was nothing on, I didn't see anything on YouTube on it or whatever, but I guess I could type that in and see. Anyway, it was a dude.
Ugh.
And then we're going to do a Can't Fix Stupid, one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Canada. And you know what? They decide to, I'm just going to hold that off. It's something to do with their justice system and who they released from jail and what the guy did. And you're going to be...
Intriguing.
You're going to be like, what? You're going to be all over yourself just puking, man. It's so cool. All right? Mm-hmm. So if you will give a word, then we'll get right into this.
All righty then. Let's see, where is it now? Here it is. It's in Jeremiah 5, and we're going to start with verse 21. This is actually Jeremiah talking to the house of Jacob, but I thought it was kind of apropos for today.
Okay.
It says, "Hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding, which have eyes and see not, which have ears and hear not. Fear ye not me, saith the Lord? Will ye not tremble at my presence? Which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea by a perpetual decree, that it cannot pass it, and though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet can they not prevail, though they roar, yet can they not pass over it? But this people hath a revolting and a rebellious heart. They are revolted and gone. Neither say they in their heart, Let us now fear the Lord our God, that gives rain, both the former and the latter, in his season. He reserves unto us the appointed weeks of the harvest. Your iniquities have turned away these things, and your sins have withholden good things from you. For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as they that set snares. They set a trap, and they catch men. As a cage is full of birds, words, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore they are become great and waxen rich. They are waxen fat, they shine. Yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper, and the right of the needy do they not judge. Shall I not visit for these things, saith the Lord? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? A wonderful and horrible thing is committed in the land. The prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests bear rule by their means. And my people love to have it so. And what will ye do in the end thereof?
That's like one of the saddest passages. Here's Jeremiah prophesying right before Judea, right before Jerusalem, right before Israel is totally destroyed and taken captive by the Babylonians. Mm-hmm. And God had warned them and 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 warned them over and over and over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. There's Jeremiah doing this, in the last days over there. And then it's just so sad because it says, my people, they just don't listen. They just don't listen. They just would rather just, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then they get whacked. They get whacked. For 70 years. And then some go back and they have to rebuild a temple and all that stuff. And it's very hard and very treacherous. And it's all history. That's what Nehemiah and Ezra is all about. And very difficult. But they never quite get their nation back. They never quite get the land grab that was promised to them. And they never get that back because soon after, the Persian Empire fell to the Greeks, and then the Romans came, and then they were totally destroyed in 1870. So, yep, some sad stuff. And, we're not Israel, but here we are in America and being warned. And no one seems to want to listen.
Nope.
And, of course, the church, the organized religious church of Christianity, of blasphemy, they're just totally irrelevant. Yep. Totally irrelevant. They don't help anybody. They don't do anything. Now they're all freaked out because their numbers are dropping. And so they're doing all kinds of stupid stuff to try to bring people in. There's a thing called transference, folks. If you live in a town, people aren't getting saved and going into churches. They don't go to church and then get saved and you get new people growing. They go from one church to another church. They go from one place until they don't like it anymore. Then they go to another place and it just transfers. It's like a balloon. You just squeeze a water balloon. You squeeze one in, the water goes the other, blah, blah, blah. That's all that happens. Yeah. So these churches are businesses and all they're doing is like any other business. They're competing to get people into their business. That's all they're doing. They're irrelevant. They don't help anybody. No one's getting demonic deliverance. No one's getting...
No one's changed.
No one's changed.
I remember going to church and then being changed or challenged at the end of the service. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, and then those who do go and say they do find the Lord, they do... get a hold of them or something, God will move them out, see, because then the Holy Spirit teaches them everything they need to know, and the Holy Spirit will teach them and guide them to the teaching in the places they need to go get fed, and then they'll grow, but they will not stay under that system. You won't see that. So, and people get saved in all kinds of different situations. All kinds of. I mean, heck, I came to the Lord going to a purpose-driven, crazy, pagan church.
Right.
Literally a pagan church. Church that played Stairway to Heaven backwards for a sermon, and played Sweet, Sweet Satan, backwards.
True story.
I came to the Lord to a church like that. I used to know this one guy. He was a drummer, and he came to the Lord and actually played in a cult, rock and roll band, and that's where he found the Lord. In this cult, but he actually had a real experience with Jesus. Of course, he went out of it. The Lord took him out of it. But you can't put the Lord in a box, man. He can save you. He can save people in many situations.
That's right.
But my point is you won't stay in a dead, dry, spirit-rejecting building for very long.
Nope.
The Lord will move you out. Ms. Kapow, there are dozens, 50 or more dead barn owl. I love barn owls.
Oh, I know.
They're just their little faces, man. We used to live on the ranch, and they would come and visit us at night. Literally, I mean, they would. They were nesting.
Yeah,
above our bedroom. Yeah, they had little babies, and they were nesting above our bedroom.
And they're nocturnal, so that's when they would learn how to fly, and they would fly into our screen.
Mm-hmm. And flap and make all kinds of noise, and they were so cute. Anyway, these and they're great, man, for micing. Oh, man, they eat a lot of rodents. I love these guys. I'd wake up the next morning, I'd find all kinds of gopher heads and guts, and oh my Lord, they make a mess.
Yeah, they do.
But 50 or more dozens of dead owls, these little barn owls, were showing up along Highway I-84. They're in Idaho. Mm-hmm. And the people that witnessed it, you know what they said? It's like they fell from the sky. Now, to be fair, no one saw them fall from the sky. Mm-mm. But they said it's like they fell from the sky.
Yeah.
Okay?
Because there were miles and miles of these dead owls.
Yes. Yes, they're just...
Over 50 of them.
Mm-hmm. So they came from somewhere. That is a lot. It's a lot of dead boys. This is Jerome, Idaho. And dozens of dead owls were reported by drivers along this interstate. And it made it very eerie for them. Mm-hmm. Yes. A couple of people they interviewed said that they were driving home to Boise from Twin Falls, and they spotted some roadkill. They thought it was roadkill along the interstate, and they saw this big bird, and they thought it was a chicken at first. Mm-hmm. What the heck? And then they keep seeing more and more of them, and then they see the stripes on the feathers, and they realize, hey, this ain't a chicken. Mm-hmm. And they identify these as these owls. And they said, definitely owls. And it said there was about 50 or more owls on a 20-mile stretch near Jerome. And there was so many of them that they quit counting them.
Oh, see?
They quit counting them. So there was more. So they want to know what's going on. Now, you know, I don't know. I can't tell you what this is. It's something bizarre with our Earth. Mm-hmm. Our Earth is going through a lot of weird Earth changes.
Sure.
A lot of weird stuff going on in the skies and in the universe. Everybody see how big Venus is?
Yes.
Everybody see how bright Venus is? Now, we've been looking at this, you know, why is Venus so bright? And some people who know a whole lot more than we do, way beyond our pay grade, in astronomy, basically say it's normal because it's close to the Earth. The thing that gets me is I noticed it this bright
in November,
back in November, and it's always a big orb. I've never seen it go into a shadow or a sliver. It's just bright. Last night we were walking the dogs, and it was as bright as any man-made LED light.
Yep.
It was so bright in the sky. So it's, you know, it doesn't feel normal.
No,
to me, it doesn't feel normal. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of weird electromagnetic pole shifting, weird stuff happening in the skies. A whole lot of meteor activity all around. We don't even talk about it anymore. We used to talk about it and try to keep up with it, but there's just meteors everywhere, being seen everywhere, and a lot of weird stuff. So anyway, the dead owls, you know, is it Earth changes? I think it has something to do with that. The other day there was
so.
Yeah, it has something to do with it. Who knows? The other day there was a pulse that went from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast in Washington, state of Washington, and it was an underground pulse, and it was not an earthquake, it wasn't man-made, and it traveled the entire continent within 3 minutes.
Yes.
And we saw some whiz guy who knows a lot more than we do, like I said, way above our pay grade, break this down for us and show us all the charts, all the, I don't know, what do you call it?
Graphs.
Yes, graphs, the seismic charts, and prove to you that there was an anomaly that went through all of these states like within 2 or 3 minutes. It was absolutely unbelievable. So there's stuff happening that you're never going to hear on mainstream news, obviously. A lot of the stuff you may not even hear, on YouTube and stuff. You just got to go to the right places. But there's some weird stuff going on. There really is. Definitely. They discovered a bunch of, I don't want to say magna, but I forgot what you call it. Something under the Yellowstone supervolcano. They say it's huge. Yeah, it's huge. So there's all kinds of weird, different things. So this owl stuff, that's probably related to Earth changes. I don't know what it is. Obviously, if you're a ufologist, you're going to say, well, they all ran into the mothership or whatever. I don't know, but. There's a man named Mike Keckler. Not Heckler, but Keckler. And he works for the Idaho Fish and Game, and he's a spokeshole. Okay? Well, Mike Keckler, instead of saying, I don't know why these owls are on the road, you know what he says? What? He says, it's a simple explanation. And I'm going to run this by you and see if you guys think it's so simple. It's a simple explanation, and it's not terribly uncommon, he said. He said, hungry owls are becoming victims of roadkill when they target mice along the interstate. And it's a deadly situation when you've got vehicles traveling 85 miles per hour. Now, let me tell you something. Like I said, we lived on a ranch in California, and we had these barn owls that lived right above our bedroom, and we'd... study them and look at them all the time. We love these things. Have you seen these things fly?
Yeah.
Have you seen how fast they are? You can't hear them. They're silent when they fly. Owls don't get on the road like a crow and eat roadkill and stuff on the road. They don't do that. They swoop down on their little victims and they're gone. Right. So 50 or more owls swoop down right in front of cars.
Yeah, and none of the vehicles or drivers of the vehicles stopped or said anything about killing these owls. And there's no rodents on the ground either.
No. And nobody reported any car damage.
No.
Certainly a windshield would be busted out.
You would think so.
But this idiot, Mike Keckler from the Fish and Game, said the owls were just victims of roadkill because they were eating mice on the road.
Yeah, okay.
But witnesses who saw these owls said it looks like they fell from the sky.
And if it was a normal thing, they wouldn't have questioned it. It would be less like, well, this is what happens. Yeah. But just the fact that they're, shocked and inquiring about this tells you that it's not normal.
And these people, the ones that said that they looked like they fell from the sky, they live there, so they travel this road all the time, and they've never seen anything like it. But Mike Keckler says, well, it's a common occurrence, happens all the time. Really? They've never heard it. A Boise State student recently published a thesis study on the dead owls in southern Idaho for the Raptor Research Center. And he called it one of the world's highest roadway mortality rates for barn owls. Yeah. I don't know what, I really don't know what the agenda is to try to hide that. I don't know if they're just ignorant or they just don't want to believe in anything else, or they just can't say we don't know. But I kind of doubt that they got hit eating mice.
Yeah, I don't believe it for 1 second.
Not 1 second, Ms. Kapow. It wasn't very long ago that if you had mentioned to anybody the term microchip and talked about human microchipping, they would have looked at you like you were nuts.
Yeah, it's very sci-fi.
Very sci-fi, tinfoil hat stuff. Really? And then, some, Christians believe, and I'm not saying right or wrong, they just believe, because it's hard, you're looking through a glass darkly, especially when you're dealing with prophecy, unless it's unfolding in front of you, then you go, this is that. That's, it's like Peter on the day of Pentecost. This is that, what the prophet Joel said, up to that point, I didn't know what that was, but now this is that. So, I don't put anybody down for even trying to speculate what some of these things are, but a lot of people believe, the mark of the beast was an RDIF or will be an RDIF chip and blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
A lot of things like that. So who knows? But when you would mention RDIF chips and chipping people or, taking the mark of the beast and, they'd look at you like you're nuts or they wouldn't know what you're talking about. So it was kind of the topics for the fringe lunatic. And it really was. And that is why this next story is so fascinating to us, because it has become mainstream. Now, I know that throughout the recent years, there's more and more stories about people microchipping themselves, experimenting with microchipping to open up doors or to run the copy machine at work and, things like that. There's more and more of that going on. Already our dogs and cats are microchipped. So it's becoming more and more mainstream and more common. But what got me about this particular article from the Review Journal is that this is a Nevada senator. So this is a
politician.
A high-ranking elected official that has looked at human microchipping in such a way that she believes there should be some laws on the books that here in Nevada we need to start preparing for human chipping and putting laws on the books to outlaw forced chipping on humans. So it's no longer just the fringe lunatic talking about this stuff. These are mainstream people. This is
scary, really.
It is kind of scary. The fact that this is even being discussed, the fact that there's even dialogue about human chipping, just shows you how close and how far along it's come. Now, whether we need to fear that now, people my age, I don't need to fear this because there's no reason why anybody would want to chip me. You know what I mean? I'm done. I have nothing else to offer. But, if you have kids in school or they're being vaccinated or you're a young person and you have to go to university, but you can't go to university unless you have the vaccinations and you're chipped in case you get lost in the dorm room, whatever. There's other things there. Or if you're younger and you're still working at a company that may require you to take some kind of chipping to get in.
That's right.
So, and I say kind of arrogantly, no one's going to want to chip me, but I don't know, maybe my bank might want to at some point. Well, you can't really access your money and credit cards and all that stuff because we don't have those anymore. You have to have it, chipped, in your hand or something in order for you to access your money. So I shouldn't really be so arrogant. That could come to a point, because if it's a point of, well, you can't accept the RDIF chip because it might be the mark of the beast, or me buying a cheeseburger, I'm probably going to get chipped, folks. I'm just going to tell you because, I got to have my cheeseburger. Everybody's like, oh my gosh.
Well, according to John MacArthur,
you
can receive the mark of the beast and still get saved.
Yeah, he said that.
He did.
Where did he get that from? Where he gets everything else from, huh?
Come on.
He just makes it up as he goes.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds
brings
good.
In people.
Yeah, brings in people. Yeah. Now we're going to take an offering. You feel better about yourselves? Okay, this is Carson City. State Senator Becky Harris said a bill to prohibit forced microchipping of people is not as far-fetched as it might seem, because it happens in some places around the world. She's proposing Senate Bill 109. It would make it a Class C felony here in Nevada to require someone to be implanted with a radio frequency identifier such as microchips placed in pets. So here in Nevada, my bank, if this law passes, my bank couldn't say, Paul, you have to have this chip or you can't access your account. It would be illegal to force me to do that some way. I guess that's how it would work. I don't know.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
It should be an option if you'd like it, not a mandatory thing.
No, and they can make it so hard for you to use cash and
but see, that would be your choice still. And they could do that.
Yeah. The idea for the bill came from a constituent, the Las Vegas Republican said. She said as she began to look into the issue, she was surprised with the merit that she believed the issue warrants. Now, this is interesting because I think when this person first brought it to her attention, she was like, what? And then when she started doing her research, she realized this is a big, big thing. And she said the sales of radio frequency identifiers, these chips, are escalating around the world. And a company in Australia, as of June 2016, sold more than 10,000 implantable chips with do-it-yourself kits.
That's scary.
It is, because people are doing this for some reason. Each kit costs about $100 and includes a tag and an injection tool.
Okay, see, I really don't like that. The injection.
No, it's a big old looking needle too. Me no like. The Wall Street Journal has reported an estimated 30,000 to 50,000 chips have been sold globally. That's not a whole lot now globally.
They're probably companies, I would imagine.
Probably. But nonetheless, you're looking at the future of, well, what happens if this thing really takes off? Harris said the technology is used by companies in Belgium and Sweden to identify employees. It's done under the idea to unlock doors or use copy machines or pay for your lunch, etc. Right? Besides privacy concerns, Harris said the concept raises ethical questions such as who owns the chip or the information contained on it.
Exactly.
And how does someone get de-chipped if they don't want to work for that company?
Well, yeah, they just don't want to be chipped anymore.
Yeah. Can the chip be hacked? Sure it is. It's going to be hacked, and it's everything else is. Exactly. Harris said the Nevada bill is modeled after legislation passed by at least 10 other states. So apparently there's other states that have this. And what prohibits the voluntary decision of a person to be microchipped? Like a nightclub in Europe offers microchipping to customers so the establishment can provide tailored service. Okay, you want to do that, fine. And there was some opposition. You know, some people brought in scenarios where would it help dementia patients to be chipped, right? Against their will, but, you know, some dementia patients wander away. So would this help them? Some wondered if military pilots are microchipped, so they could be found if their plane crashes. I don't know.
But the arguments will always be for a good cause. Yeah. Blah 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 blah, and then they can use the evil after they have it enacted, a law enacted for it.
I just think that the dialogue that they're having about it and thinking about enacting a law to prevent forced microchipping, and that's something to pay attention to.
Exactly.
Because that means it's like right here, right around the corner. And you know what else is right around the corner? A commercial. A commercial break. Of course. And I got to tell you, I'm not really big into commercials, but this particular radio announcer that comes on, his voice is so sultry. Wow. It's so deep and dark. It's like milk. It's like milk chocolate.
I like chocolate
to my ears. And his message is just fantastic. And I know you guys want it. I'm just going to shut up and let you guys hear this guy because he's unbelievable. All he's one of my favorites. All right. Okay. We'll be back. Hey, everyone. This is your brother Kapow speaking to you. Many of you already know that my beautiful co-host wife and I have authored numerous books together. 2 are available in paperback, as well as in Kindle download. They are titled Demons in My Marriage Bed, A True Story of Spiritual Warfare, and Eyes to See Unseen Enemies, Looking at the Neo-Pagan Church. we want to offer to our Kapow Radio listeners a special $2 discount from the retail price of these 2 paperback books. Demons in My Marriage Bed is only $10.99. Eyes to See Unseen Enemies is only $8.99. This is how you can get your discount. Go to fifthhookmedia.com, FIFTHOOK media.com, and click on books, and then scroll down to select the book you want to get. Copy or write down the discount code for the book you want to buy, and click on the linked code to go directly to our Create Space website. Paste or type in the discount code at checkout. Voila, $2 off. Additionally, you can go to createspace.com, go to the search bar, use the drop-down menu to the left of the bar to search the store. Type in either title of the book you want, enter the discount code at checkout. Now, the codes are up front on both book pages. You can't miss them. We hope you take advantage of this offer, and please write us a review in Amazon. Share this information with others you think may like our material, and may our Lord and Savior richly bless all of you. Well, Miss Kapow, that dude is awesome, man.
That was Hershey-licious.
Yeah, it was Hershey-licious. He must have went to a lot of training to get that kind of tenor in his voice. Just, wow.
Very impressive.
Wow.
Very impressive indeed.
Yes, Elon Musk. Everybody knows who's Elon Musk. Elon Musk.
Named after the Musk.
The Musketeers.
No, Muscalone.
Muscalone. He says humans must, okay, not should, maybe, perhaps, but they must. You must merge with machines or become irrelevant in the AI age. Oh,
wow.
No, I don't want to be a machine. I don't want to be microchipped and be a robot.
Haven't you seen those movies?
I have.
It never turns out good.
It never does. He's a billionaire. So because he's a billionaire, we better listen to him.
Yeah.
Because he's very successful and he's a billionaire.
All right.
He's known for his futuristic ideas, and his latest suggestion might just save us all from being irrelevant.
All right.
As artificial intelligence grows more prominent. Here's what he says. He says humans just need to merge with machines to become sort of a cyborg. He's dead serious. He's not messing around. Here's what he says. He was talking to people in the United Arab Emirates, the UAE, where he launched his Tesla car line. Mm-hmm. All right. It was a
look how successful that has been.
It has been, if you can afford one. 0 to 60 in what, 30 seconds? I don't know. They're supposed to be very fast. He was at the World Government Summit in Dubai. And I like to, when I cast demons out, I like to send them to the deserts of Dubai. Yeah. It's just something I like to do. So there's a lot of demons in the deserts. So I would suggest don't go digging around in the sand out there.
Yeah.
But anyway, over time, he says, I think, this is Elon talking, I think we will probably see a closer merger of biological intelligence and digital intelligence.
Mm-hmm. Do say.
It's mostly about the bandwidth. What the heck is that? That's what he says. It's mostly about the bandwidth, the speed of the connection between your brain and the digital version of yourself, particularly output. Okay, once again, beyond my pay scale.
Sounds stupid.
The thing is, he explained what he meant. He said computers can communicate at 1 trillion bits per second, right? Trillion bits per second. While humans, whose main communication method is typing with their fingers via mobile device, I disagree. I think your main communication method is probably your body language or your voice.
Yeah.
But
whatever.
He thinks your main communication method is typing with your fingers, and you can only do about 10 bits per second. A computer.
He's trying to make a point here.
He's making a point. As stupid as it is, he's trying to make a point. In an age where AI threatens to become widespread, humans would be useless. You know why? Because you can't type. You can't type as fast as a robot. So there's a need to merge with machines. So he says some high bandwidth interface to the brain will be something that helps achieve a symbiosis. A symbiosis, Ms. Kapow, between human and machine intelligence.
All right.
And maybe solves the control problem and the usefulness problem. Did you catch this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Arrogant.
I'm going to read this, not the whole thing, but let me read this part again. He says that this bandwidth interface on the brain, right, could form a symbiotic type of relationship between human and machine. And he says, and maybe solves the control problem and the usefulness problem.
See, that's why they want to put this in place.
What control problem is he talking about? The machine, controlling the machine, or controlling the
humans?
Yes.
Humans.
It solves a control problem. We can't control these stupid humans right now, so this would solve that. And guess what? The usefulness problem. They're not useful. They're useful eaters.
Exactly.
Right? So if you get that language, you should have a cringe moment.
Yeah.
So his proposal would see a new layer of brain. You're going to have another brain that's able to access information quickly and tap into artificial intelligence. So he's saying that it's evolving. Humans will evolve.
Wow, what an arrogant guy, yeah?
He's very arrogant. But if you notice that the language goes really back to the garden. Number one, did God say you're going to die? Surely you're not going to die. Number two, if you take the bait, if you take the clickbait, your eyes are going to be open. You're going to be very wise because you're going to merge with the machine, and you're going to live forever. You're going to live forever.
And this is the guy that's afraid of dying.
Yes. And you're going to become gods. Little g gods. It's the same spirit behind his language. He throws in a little 1984 control stuff in there. I think this guy's this is a scary dude. He's a scary
and he has money, so they let him blab his gums.
Yep, lots of moolah. You know what's bad, Ms. Kapow, is when you're watching a movie called A Fantastic Woman, and you're really digging it. You're going, gosh, she's a fantastic woman in this movie. I want to be in this movie with this fantastic woman. And then you, as a woman,
would go, I wish I looked like her.
Yes, I want to be this fantastic woman.
Look at those beautiful eyes, those sensuous lips, that beautiful hair.
Those knobby knees.
Those big ears.
That big thick neck. That huge skull.
Look at those hands.
Look at that jawline.
And the thighs.
The thighs. And the man hips. They can't breed. The man hips. Well, that's exactly what happens if you're watching A Fantastic Woman, because it's a man. Transgender actress is a breakout star at the Berlin Fest.
Daniela Vega.
Daniela Vega is the transgender star of A Fantastic Woman, and it wows the audiences. Wow. This is from Berlin. Daniela Vega, the transgender star of Jillian movie, A Fantastic Woman, wowed the Berlin Film Festival Sunday with a breakout performance as a trailblazer. He, dressed as a woman, is a film and stage actress as well as an opera singer. That's interesting because it's a dude singing opera. So does it hit those high female notes, or does he sing like a Botticelli?
Yeah, beats me.
I don't know. Anyway, this guy plays a transgender woman, and now check out this storyline. This gets more and more confusing. It's a transgender woman in love with Orlando, who's a much older man who dies the night of her birthday celebration. Okay, you got it? So this older dude named Orlando is in love with another dude dressed like a woman. You got it? A transgender woman. Got it? Okay. Now. I know. Let's see. Where's the rest of the storyline? Because they're talking about who directed it. We don't care. Okay, so this transgender woman, in the movie, her name is Marina. A fantastic woman traces Marina's battle to win the right to mourn her dead lover, Orlando, who's a real man in love with another man dressed as a woman. So she is battling the right to mourn her dead lover against the resistance of his ex-wife and their adult son.
Oh, man, talk about a soap opera.
Yeah, so Orlando had a real woman as a wife, and he had a woman who could breed and have children, so he had a son. Mm-hmm. Well, he decided to go all queer on them and fall in love with a man dressed as a woman, a transgendered woman. And now he's dead, and the family don't want her to go to the funeral or to rightly mourn the death of her lover, Orlando.
But you know what? It makes perfect sense in a confused world.
Yes. And you know what? They call her names, Miss Kapow. They call her a chimera, which is a monster from Greek mythology made from several species, and condemn her relationship with Orlando as perverse. You guys get the language behind this? Are you guys getting this? Huh? And yet the Bible says you shall not mix seed. And the Bible says, it's a disgrace and abomination for a man to wear women's clothing and a woman to wear man's clothing. But they say, they call her perverse. They're mean.
But that was then. It's different now.
Yeah. They bar her from the funeral. Can you imagine that?
Wow.
Can you imagine? They barred this this dude dressed like a chick from the funeral. They kick her out of the apartment, she had with Orlando, intended to share, and even take away her beloved German Shepherd. What's the name of the dog? Did you catch the name of the dog? The German Shepherd is named Diabla.
Oh, my goodness.
Female devil, Diabla. Wow. That's the name of this transgendered woman's dog, Diabla. The female devil. You see what... My God, folks, I'm trying to show you something. Do you see the language behind this? Do you see the agenda?
Yes.
The world's ending, folks. It cannot go on too much longer. It's imploding and collapsing.
It certainly is.
Society, it's gone globally. It's gone. Mm-hmm. It is amazing. It is amazing. Keep looking up, folks, because your redemption is going to be drawing near.
And I think that's why the earth and the skies and everything, everything is going bonkers.
Yeah, there's signs in the sun. There really is. There's signs in the sun. There are signs in the sun. Mm-hmm. There's signs in the moon. There are signs in the stars. Look at Venus. I mean, that's just one. There's signs in the earth, everywhere. Folks, redemption's close. This is imploding. Ooh. This is imploding. Satan's kingdom is imploding. It's mixed, folks. It's iron, which is partly strong, mixed with earthenware. Earthenware. They don't hold together. Humans and hybrid fallen angels don't hold together. This transgender actress, this thing is a hybrid. It doesn't hold together. It's not working. Mm-mm. It can't work. It can't work.
Nope. It really can't.
Let me go on with the plot.
Oh, okay.
In the story, the police suspect Orlando's death from an aneurysm may have involved drugs or foul play.
Oh, my goodness.
And guess what they do? They're mean to Marina, too.
Oh, of course
they submit her to questioning and a humiliating physical exam.
Oh, for the love of pizza. You can just imagine.
This is a trans fest. Mm-hmm. You're going to go to this movie.
It's a freak show.
It's a freak show trans fest where this thing is made to be the ultimate victim in such a unloving, cruel world. Calling on the reserves of strength it has taken for her to forge her path to an often conservative macho society, Marina refuses to go quietly. Damn it.
See, I think you could read stories
I can.
At the library.
I'm gonna read to the kids this year. I'm doing the Dr. Seuss Hat and the Cat to the kids. I'm gonna scare the heck out of them because I'm gonna go, kids, look at Dr. Seuss here. He's a demon. He's green. What's wrong with you? Read the Bible, you little brats. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can see.
They're gonna love me. Vega, okay, the actress guy, the transgender dude, said his character Marina had limited space in which to live freely in San Diego, but she finds it. You can see that that's what makes her so fantastic, so appealing. She's a fantastic woman. She finds a way to spread her wings and fly. Transgender hurdles.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Vega admitted that most societies in the world still had trouble accepting transgender people.
You think?
Even as they become more visible in Western pop culture, but that the story had more universal appeal. She says, or he says, I think no one in this world hasn't gone through a transition in their lives, if only from being a baby to a grown-up. What? Being a baby to a grown-up, I'm still a human. I'm a male baby growing up to a male adult. I'm not going from a male to a female. That don't even make sense. It's not even logical. Now, he says, I moved from being a man to a woman, and I'm glad I did.
Good for you.
This is my personal choice, and this is what constitutes my humanity. We're fine. I'm not going to see your movie.
Because I think it's disgusting.
He acknowledged that while tolerance had grown in much of the world, there were no guarantees that freedoms gained would be protected forever. We are going through a moment that is very fragile and delicate. It seems there is a movement to turn back progress. Speaking of President Donald Trump in the United States, obviously. And he is, because he says we are seeing walls go up and borders are fortified and people are being labeled and put in boxes. I think we need to ask what kind of world we want. Well, I don't want terrorists. I don't want criminals, and I don't want men dressed like women telling me what to do.
Okay, there.
Yeah. So, A Fantastic Woman, the movie Fantastic Woman, is one of 18 contenders for the Golden Bear top prize on Saturday. The Golden Bear. How many of you have heard of the Golden Bear Awards?
Nope.
I hear crickets. This is how irrelevant this movie is. This is how irrelevant this actor dressed as a woman is. Okay? But they want you to think it's something. They want you to think it's something.
Not.
Okay, are you done screaming? Are you done screaming, Miss
Yes.
Kapow? Okay.
Our next story.
Our next story is Grammys. The Grammys.
And that's not grandma's.
Not the grandmas, but the Grammys. Okay, how many of you see those trophy girls up there that give that little...
The Vanna Whites?
Yeah. And they give that little god to the person. Here, go worship this. Here's your little golden god, you fool. Fool, for tonight thy soul will be required of thee. Just like that. Bam, your heart stops beating and you're dead as a doornail. In eternity.
And what are you going to do?
But here's your little God.
And you can't even take that thing with you.
No, and why would you? It's probably made out of plastic. Well, the little trophy girls that give those trophies this year was a transgender man. Actually, it was a transgender woman. It was a man that transgendered to a female. It's a man dressed as a chick.
Wow. Just think how versatile this can be.
The three trophy handlers at Sunday's ceremony are transgender model Martina Rublido, model and actor Derek Morocco, and model and actress Holland Haley. So, it looks like they got, I think there's like two females and a guy. So the two females are dressed like guys and the guy is dressed like a female. I don't know why you just wouldn't get a guy and a female to give the trophy out. That would be so much simpler.
That would make sense. That's why.
It's kind of like, let's take the longest way, the most complicated way to do something and then call it
progression.
Cool. Yeah. Evolution, diversity. Sunday Grammys, a man and a transgender woman will join the so-called trophy girls who bring music's top honors on stage. Okay, so it looks like it's just a guy, a man, and so that's going to be a girl, a female. So it'll be a transgendered man, and a transgender woman, a man dressed as a woman, will join the other girls. So the rest of them are women.
Oh my goodness!
So I got to just
confusing.
I'm trying to keep my brain. So there's only two I got to keep track of here, right? Okay. So it's a change that puts the Grammys in the front ranks of awards diversity.
Oh, bro.
You understand? Awards diversity.
All right.
In a statement, Neil Portnow, he's the president of the Recording Academy. Here's what he said. To be honest, the idea of a trophy girl has felt antiquated for some time now.
Wow. Thanks.
Why? Well, then don't have a trophy girl. Have a robot give the trophy.
Or a monkey.
Or a monkey. But the idea of a trophy girl has felt antiquated. He says, who wrote the rule anyway? The ability to present a trophy has nothing to do with one's gender. I can understand that if he says, okay, I'm going to have some gay guy then give it out. Mm-hmm. But he has a guy dressed as a woman and a woman dressed as a guy. That makes sense.
It's a freak show.
The change
It's a freak show.
It's a freak show. The change wasn't made to be provocative or buck convention. Nah. But to acknowledge that you'll love this quote. He says, music's universal power lies in its spirit of inclusion.
Oh, brother.
It does not. The whole thing about rock and roll was that it was exclusive. Mm-hmm. It was rebellion against the status quo.
Exactly. Yeah.
1960s. I mean, the music was rebellion against the Vietnam War. And it's not about universal power and inclusion.
Nope.
It was exclusive.
Exactly.
Don't tell me. It's a spirit of inclusion for all people and their voices. You liar. You are a liar.
Lawyer.
In recent years, the Academy Awards has replaced its female trophy presenters with male. Okay, I dig it. And female film students. All right. Both American and from countries including China and Zimbabwe. Okay, I dig it. That mix stood in contrast to the largely white slate of nominees. White people, dirty white cracker devils. No more white people. Finally relieved this year by several nods for African American artists, including Denzel Washington. Mm-hmm. Denzel Washington's been around a long time. He's been around a long time. He's not like some newcomer. We just now got an African-American actor.
Yeah, please.
Changing up the Grammy trophy presenters isn't window dressing. No. The awards increasingly have honored a variety of artists, different genres, from rap to country to jazz to classical, with Beyonce and Adele among the top contenders this time around. Did everybody see... I didn't watch the Grammys, but I watched this clip on YouTube, so it has to be true.
The goddess.
Did everybody see the speech Adele gave to Beyonce, the worship? Mm-hmm. She worshipped her.
Oh, yeah.
She bowed down, not physically, but she bowed down mentally and spiritually, verbally, and worshiped Beyonce and called her...
Oh, I forget, but some kind of goddess.
She goes, I love you. You're our light, is what she called. She says, you are our light. And Beyonce... accepted the worship. She says, thank you. You. She accepted the worship that she was their light. Baby, the church of baby.
Yep.
It's a sick world, folks. These people are insane. They're spiritually insane. Mm-hmm. The three trophy handlers at Sunday's ceremony are transgender model Martina Robledo, model and actor Derek Maracco, and then there's this Holland Haley gal who's really a gal. Mm-hmm. Robledo, who's from San Diego, said she was honored. This is a dude. He She was honored to join Caitlyn Jenner, Laverne Cox, and other transgender freak shows in the more inclusive media spotlight, but she expects viewer reaction to her presence will be mixed.
You think?
He says, I know it's going to make some people uncomfortable and make others weep for joy. I'm just going to step out there and strut and make sure I deliver my best because there's people out there looking up to me.
You did it so well.
Yeah. That they may include transgender boys and girls or other minorities. She said, calling them the people I want to speak for, to let them know that there is a better world out there for us. A better world. Wow. Better world. And anyway, it goes on. It doesn't matter what your transgender is. If you're qualified, you're qualified. Dang it. It's a dream come true, folks. A dream come true. The only thing that would be better if we can get Elon Musk to put a cyborg as a trophy girl, a human mixed, integrated with machine. That would be, now that I would watch. That would be cool. That would be cool.
Doesn't sound good to me.
Of course it doesn't, Miss Kapow, because you're a fuddy-duddy. You're a fuddy-duddy. There it is, Miss Kapow.
Can't fix stupid.
You can't fix stupid. It's impossible to fix stupid. This is from Canada. Our neighbors to the north. Freedom granted to man who beheaded bus passenger in Canada.
And this was gruesome.
It was.
Ugh.
It's from Winnipeg, Manitoba. A Canadian man, at least he was a man. He's not transgendered as a woman. He's a man. I'll give him that. A Canadian man who was found not criminally responsible for beheading and cannibalizing a fellow passenger on a Greyhound bus has been granted his freedom.
Cool.
Therefore, Canada court system deserves the Can't Fix Stupid award.
Yep.
Can't fix stupid. Are you serious? This guy cuts a stranger's head off and eats him on a Greyhound bus, and you say, yeah, criminally responsible. Let's let him out.
Jiminy.
I think that's a good idea.
Wow.
Manitoba's Criminal Code Review Board, these guys are a bunch of geniuses. They announced last Friday it has given Will Baker, formerly known as Vince Lee, changed his name, an absolute discharge, meaning he is no longer subject to monitoring. We don't even have to monitor him.
Yeah, just let him roam free.
That's exactly what they did. So if you're in Canada and you're going to do something, do it big.
Yeah.
Cut off heads, toes, fingers, eat the corpse, eat them alive if you have to. Get up, do the Hillary Clinton dance, do the jerk thing.
Because apparently it's not a crime there.
It's not a crime, and they'll let you go, and then you could be a transgender, whatever you want to be in Canada, have free socialized medicine, and go date a Mountie. I don't know, whatever, this is crazy. I thought we were crazy with our laws. This is nuts. Baker is a diagnosed schizophrenic.
Oh, that's why.
You gotta be kidding me. He killed poor Tim McLean. He didn't even know who Tim McLean was. Tim McLean, it was a young carnival worker. He was a carny who was a complete stranger to Baker in 2008.
Well,
a year later, he was found not criminally responsible due to his mental illness.
There you have it.
My Lord. Okay, that's fine. Don't hold him criminally, but you can't just let him out.
Yeah, like he didn't do this.
Okay, McLean's mother, Carol Dedelay, she's been outspoken against granting Baker freedom, saying there would be no way to ensure he continue to take his medication.
Right.
She declined comment in a post on Facebook, saying, I have no words. Baker was initially kept at a secure wing of a psychiatric hospital, but he was given more freedom every year. Because, well, here's the deal. When you're in the hospital, you're forced to take your medicine. And they give you these psycho medicines, and they keep all the demons in check and all this stuff. When he gets out, he's not going to take them no more because he thinks he's normal now.
Yeah. Probably he's not even in the right mental state to take his medication.
No. This guy's a nut. If you chop somebody's head off and eat them on a Greyhound bus,
you're nuts.
Medicine ain't going to do it. He's been living on his own in a Winnipeg apartment since November, but is still subject to monitoring to ensure he took his medicine. Baker's doctor, Jeffrey Waldman, here's another rocket science. I wish Jeffrey would have took Mr. Baker into his own personal home, but he didn't. Jeffrey Waldman, this rocket scientist, told the board earlier this week that he is confident, dang it, that Baker will remain on his medication and will continue to work with his treatment team if released. Waldman testified that Baker knows it's the medication that keeps his illness at bay. So, yeah, he wouldn't want to skip a pill. In a written decision, the review board said it is of the opinion that the weight of evidence does not substantiate that Mr. Baker poses a significant threat to the safety of the public.
Really?
He cut a stranger's head off and ate him on a Greyhound bus. But Canada, he says he doesn't suppose a significant threat to the safety of the public.
Of course not, yeah. Oh, wow.
Waldman said Baker plans to visit his native China if released, but would live in Winnipeg for the next 2 or 3 years. You know why? He wants to visit China? Because he says that the young boys there taste like barbecue ribs. Yes, that's how delicious young Chinese boys are.
Ugh.
So he wants to go there and eat them because he's not a danger. He is on the waiting list for a post-secondary training program and plans on establishing a career in the city. He wants a career. I don't know who's going to hire him.
Probably a chef.
He's going to be hired as a chef. A very exclusive restaurant. Baker immigrated to Canada from China in 2001. He became a Canadian citizen 4 years ago. Ain't that nice?
Mm.
Baker sat next. Now, here's what he did. He's on a Greyhound bus, right? He sits next to this 22-year-old guy named McLean. He's a carny. 22 years old. He sits next to him on the bus. After the man, the victim, guess what he did?
He smiled.
Smiled at him and asked how he was doing.
How you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. So he sees this Chinese guy walk by and he looks at him and goes, "Hi, how you doing?" Right? How you doing? Right? It wasn't a gay thing. How you doing? What's going on? So Baker, Mr. Lee, decided, I'm going to sit next to this guy because he's nice. See, what's the lesson you take off here? When you're in a bus in Canada, don't smile at people. Don't talk to people. That's the lesson, folks. So anyway, he sits next to him. Baker said he heard the voice of God telling him to kill the man or die immediately.
That's the schizo working in him.
Yeah. What God do you think he was listening to?
Demon gods.
The demon god. So, being an obedient follower of
Demon god,
he repeatedly stabbed McLean while he fought for his life. Passengers fled the bus because they're brave.
Yeah. Well, they're Canadians.
Well, they're not armed either. Nothing. So they left. Baker continued stabbing and mutilating the body before he was arrested. He just kept mutilating the guy. He severed his head, and he showed it to some of the passengers outside the bus. He's crazy. The Supreme Court of Canada ruled in 1999 that a review board must order an absolute discharge if a person doesn't pose a significant threat to public safety. I don't get it. How could this guy not pose a threat? All he has to do is quit taking his medication, and he's a significant threat. You cannot guarantee he's not fixed. The ruling added there must be clear evidence of a significant risk. Like this isn't. This is not clear evidence of a significant risk.
And if this isn't, I don't know what is.
That he continually stabbed a stranger and mutilated him, cut off his head, and showed it to passengers, and ate a few pieces.
Wow.
There has to be clear evidence of a significant risk to the public for the review board to continue imposing conditions after a person is found not criminally responsible.
These people are brain dead.
They're stupid. This is stupid. This is a socialist, libtard, stupid parliament that would make any kind of decision like this. They don't care about the safety of their citizens.
This is coming to America near you.
Now, how about he goes and he attacks some dude on the bus, and that dude defends himself and knocks this little idiot's head through a window. 50 miles an hour. He's going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to be found criminally insane.
Mm-hmm. You could have talked to him.
You've used excessive force. The force
You're a hater.
Meet the needs. Yeah, you're a hater against Mr. Lee. Opposition Conservative Member of Parliament James Bizzaro criticized Baker's release. He said earlier this week it would be an insult to the DeLay and McLean's other relatives. I agree.
Yep.
Baker's defenders include Chris Somerville, executive director of the Manitoba Schizophrenia Society, who has worked with him over the years. Well, why don't you come and have him live in your house, Chris? He is no longer a violent person, Chris said.
Oh, really?
I will say, yes, he absolutely understands that he has to take his medication. Well, understanding and doing it are two different things. Mm-hmm. You can understand all you want. I understand I shouldn't put an arrow through this guy's head. I understand that, but not doing it is a whole different process. He says he understands that, and he has a desire to live a responsible, moral life and never succumb to psychotic episodes and not to hurt anybody ever again.
Wow.
You can't.
Of course he's going to say that, if he even said that.
You can't fix retardation when it's in the form of stupidity. I'm just so upset.
Here's some cheese.
I got a heartburn now. I'm just that's
the last of all stories.
That's the last. Give everybody a ciao, and we'll talk to you later.
Ciao, baby.